So let me tell you, you get a lot of honor and accolades in this industry, but there's nothing like being at home and being amongst people who have known you since when, and to really be able to share in this existence. Because most people who know me well know that I'm just a little girl from Saratoga Avenue.
Come on, come on.
And when I grew up in this community, it was a very different neighborhood, but it was a neighborhood that was filled with love. It was a neighborhood that the entire block raised you. I always talk about a woman named Mama Queenie, who used to sit at her window each and every day. And if I walked down that block a minute after 3:35, coming from PS 178, she was on the phone with my mom, like, Latrice is not home doing what she's supposed to be doing. She's out here running around in these streets behind these little boys, right? And it was because of Mama Queenie, as much as I used to be like, Mama Queenie, you just too nosy. You all up in people's stuff, all in the mustard, trying to catch up. Y'all know who I was. Y'all know that little girl. She saved my life.
That's right.
And then there was also this existence where there were these girls that would sit outside in the front of the building on the bench. And when I would walk by, they would say, oh, Latrice, she thinks she all that. They actually didn't even call me Latrice. It took until I graduated from college before people knew that I was Latrice, because everyone knew me as Nikki, or I was Tommy Jr.'s little sister. And so they would say, oh, she thinks she's all of that and all this, and they would always want to start something and start fights. And because they had that relationship with me, it made me become a lot closer to people that I went to school with at Brooklyn Tech. And those girls would say to me, well, we're going to the center section and we're going to go and fill out our college applications. And it was because of all of those women, and now women, that really helped to be the person that I needed to see, that I could see myself in college. And then once I got into college, right, so I'm driving back and forth into Brownsville, back upstate. I said, okay, what am I going to do next? And I remember there's this girl named Malika, me and her good friends. We would say, what if we went to college and go on to law school and be able to come back and represent the neighborhood that raised us? And all of those women and all of that community and all of those girls and all of everything that poured all that stuff into us all those years, to be able to take that and speak truth to power, to be able to talk about our experiences, the experiences of our neighbors, and we don't have to be fake about it. We didn't move into a community to say that we wanted to represent. This is our neighborhood, right? And so I am honored. I count it as a privilege. It's my pleasure to be able to hop on that road each and every week, to sit in my chamber, to make sure that I'm fighting on behalf of all of the residents of the New York City Housing Authority, that we know now it's in vogue. Everybody wants to talk about NYCHA. They want to talk about the heat and the hot water, but guess what? When I was a kid, my mom used to get hot water and she would put it in the tub, and then she would have us fill up a little tin pan or sometimes a basin, and we would boil water and put a little bit of hot water and a little bit of cold water and put it in the sink, and that's how we used to have to go to school. And that was way back when, right?
That's right.
That's just a part of our DNA at this point, because we have been stomped on and neglected by government for so long that that's all that we know. And that's all that so many people believe they deserve until today. That we can elect people who are able to go up there and talk about those experiences, to put them on the map. It's not a mistake that you see NYCHA on the TV each and every day. It's because people are bringing those issues to the fore. But we have so much work ahead of us. Right now, some of the things that we're going through, we're going to be looking at legalizing cannabis. Yes! Right? And everybody who's looking to us in order to create this legalization, I hear you, sister, and you're excited about that, and so are so many other people. But politics is not a spectator sport. We can't sit on the sidelines and watch everybody else talk about the legalization of cannabis while we were on the negative end of the how they handled, marijuana and stopping friends and going into people's pockets and charging them with all these things and making these people have to go and take these ACDs and getting these records and having to live with that. And when you have a drug conviction on your record, you cannot get federal student aid. You can't go to college. It was knocking away our future.
That's right.
But we're at a point now where we can do something about it. So while I appreciate the honor, I can't rest on the laurels of success.
I understand.
It feels good. It's a great moment. But we have to get up to Albany. And we have to get on those buses when they are leaving our communities so that we can fight on behalf of all of the things that we need. Because there's this velvet rope that stands outside of our session door. And when people are giving us cards and they have us to come outside, and they say, well, Assemblywoman, we want you to vote on this. And we want you to vote on that. And we want you to vote on this. And then when I look at these individuals, they're not us. And it hurts. It hurts. And it's because we've been broken so badly by politics that we think our vote don't count. That when it comes to the census and people knocking on our doors and expecting us to answer the census, we say, oh, we don't want people to know our government name. We don't want them to know where we are. But guess what? If they mailed it to you, they know where you are already. Fill it out. Whenever you don't fill out a census form, whenever anybody in this neighborhood does not fill out a census form, they are taking money away from our community. Right? Because I can't go up there and say there's 400,000 people in New York City Housing Authority, or there are 125,000 people in my district, but when they look at the voting rolls, or when they look at the census, they say, oh, only 5,000 people live there. Right? The language of government is numbers. The language of government is numbers. They don't speak nothing else. How many people show up to vote? When I won my election, I believe, with merely 2,500 or so votes. Maybe 4,000 votes. I represent 125,000 people. We can't keep doing this. Just recently, I put myself forward in terms of running for the New York City Public Advocate's Office. And people would say to me, oh, Latrice, you think you're going to be able to do this because I have the highest voting turnout district anywhere in New York City, and your district is the lowest. They would tell me and they would feel that I wasn't ready for acceleration. Why? Because they said your community is not ready for acceleration. Now, I didn't come here to preach, but I do want everyone to understand.
Wake them up.
That your elevation, my elevation, our community's elevation, we are all interwoven. We are intricately intertwined.
That's right.
And when the neighborhood fucks up,
Amen. That's real. You fuck up.
I fuck up.
That's right.
And my daddy ain't teach me to be nobody's fuck up.
That's right.
So don't make me look bad. And I promise not to make you look bad. Let's get out here. Let's do this census next year. Let's knock it out the box. And when it comes down time for us to go to the polls, let's make sure we show up and we show out. And let's make sure that we are getting on those buses and going up to Albany and letting each and every person who sits within that chamber knows exactly who you are, whose you are, what you want, what you need, and the fact that you need it now. God bless you. Thank you for listening.